Welcome to Big Blend Radio with your hosts, Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazine.com.
Who let the dogs out? Hey, everybody, welcome to Big Blend Radio. Nancy and I, the mother-daughter travel team on our Love Your Parks tour, we travel full-time documenting parks and public lands. And when we're not, sitting in a swamp filming alligators or off watching antelope in a park like Pronghorn and hanging out in prairies or forests, we pet sit. And that's how we get our work done. We get to hang out with animals. We get to hang out with dogs, cats, bunnies, guinea fowl. Yes, that's true. Guinea pigs too, chickens, donkeys, tortoises, you name it. I think we've bunnies, a lot of bunnies, cats. We've hung out with a lot of fish, a lot of animals over the last 2.5 years. Yep, house plants, gardens, mini farms. Listen, it just rocks. So as we travel, we go to our second home as we're on the road, and we hang out with pets and gardens, and we meet new friends, pet and human friends, and we get our work done and play. So this is the coolest lifestyle we can imagine. This is all done through Trusted House Sitters. You've heard Angela on our show. Angela Laws is a community manager. Everyone calls her Auntie Angela. That's over in this side of the country, but over the pond, it's Auntie Angela. And she's going to tell everybody how it works, not just for us as, pet lovers that travel and do pet sits, but also for homeowners and pet parents. So welcome back to the show, Auntie Angela. How are you?
I am fine. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Lisa. It's always a pleasure to come on and chat to you. You're intrepid traveling, pet-loving travelers, and what you do is amazing. And I just love getting into conversations with you.
You too, because you've done this all over the world. Nancy and I are feeling pretty like we've done over 70 sits now. And
wow.
in 2.5 years, over 70 sits. A lot of them, I'm going to say a third to a half are repeat sits, which is really great for the pets, because it's like, oh, my buddies come back to visit, and at the same time, we've done how many 18 states that I can count.
Oh my gosh. That repeat, that walking back in is so special. And I know you know it. And because those pets remember you. I mean, they do remember you. And of course, you've made a relationship with the pet parents as well. But it is a unique way to travel. It's unique, it's authentic, it's slow travel. And you both know how it can be so very good for what you're doing as far as your business is concerned and travel. But you get to stay in a home, you get to be at home. And I think that's really, really important. But I think the biggest, we always say that Trusted House Sitters is a win-win-win. And everybody's heard of the win-win, but not too many people have heard of the win-win-win. And they go, okay, so what's the third win? Actually, the third win is probably the most important one. And that is, it's a win for the animals. It's a win for the pets, because they get to stay safe and happy at home. Nothing in their life changes except their human caregiver. And as we've often said, and we've talked about this so many times, often we, the sitters, the carers, whatever you want to call us, we give them actually more love and attention. We don't love them more, but we give them more love and attention than their humans, their people do, simply because that's what we're there for. We have no other focus. This is them.
The other day we drove up into a repeat sit that we've done several times, and they've become really good friends of ours. And the cat, the one, Gotham, the cat, as the car went up the driveway, the cat recognized our car. And he was on it. He came right over. He's like, I know who these are, just because he knew our car. And so, you don't think pets would get like that when you're not the owner, but they do.
And Monkey Mouse Cat, his sister,
Monkey Mouse Cat,
you know, she has a new, like, you follow the routines of the family and the pets, what they do, the food, the playtime, the walking, you know, the water, all of that. However, Monkey Mouse Cat has her own routine with me. It's called, as I come downstairs, she attacks my ankles because she's like, it's playtime. And
Mhm.
she waits at 4 o'clock for some reason. Maybe it's wine time. She goes, hey, it's tunnel time, tunnel playtime. And they said, you know, her pet parents, her kitty parents say, it's you who does this. This is you who started her. At 4 o'clock, she expects tunnel playtime. And I think, you know, we've kind of set up routines for animals that we, you know, suddenly, you know, the animals want extra playtime and they're like, well, they didn't do this before, but now they play a little bit more, which is all positive. It's because
Like
we're not actual,
grandparents.
we're family with them because everybody feels like family at a certain point with this. But it's like you are new playmates and you have new games. You have different ways of doing things, but it is all complementing. You know what I mean, Angela? It's not like we're going
Yeah.
in and saying, okay, we're changing a routine. We're
No, no,
adding
no, no.
a new spark of excitement. You taught us that when we go, we're putting the pets on vacation too, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the pets end up enjoying their vacation just as much as their pet parents do. And that's how it should be, you know? And we could spend the next 2 hours talking about the stories and the pets and everything because we have so many. And like
Mm.
you, the ones I go back to, and one in particular that I go back to in San Diego, and his name is Barkley, and he's a Labradoodle.
Mhm.
And I go there, and his pet parents now say that Barkley barks with an English accent, and that when I leave, he mopes around for about 48 hours, and he goes
Mm.
and looks for me, and because you know you've made that connection, and as I say, they can stay at home, and I'm sure you have, but I know I have. I've cared for so many rescue pets, so many that have come from shelters or wherever,
Mhm.
and whether they're young, old, or seniors or whatever they are, those pets, those family members can't go back into that environment that they've been brought from and given their forever home. And so, you know, being able to do that and look after them and care for them, but more than that, it's the peace of mind that we give those pet parents when they leave the house. I mean,
Mhm.
that is something, and I've been doing this now for 14 years, and I've done over 200
Wow.
sits across 5
Wow.
continents and everything else. But you
Cool.
know what? The most rewarding thing for me is that I know the moment those pet parents walk out of that door, they never, ever, ever have to worry about their animals
Mhm.
again the whole time they're away. That could be vacation. That could be they've got to go and see a family member who's not well. They could go, whatever, for
Work.
whatever
Yeah.
reason they leave home. I mean, because it's not
Mhm.
just about vacation travel. I mean, I did a sit in Spain that lasted for 8 months. And the
Wow.
reason that that lasted for 8 months is because the pet parents had been working in Dubai and they had to go back to Dubai to work. And they had rescued this adorable dog from Dubai. And they didn't want to take him back to that environment. And so I was lucky and privileged, and all of those, you know, expletives that I use, um, to actually go and care for this adorable dog,
Mm.
for it was originally 6 months, and it's finished up being for 8 months. And I was in a home. I volunteered at a rescue center. I live like a local in that part of Spain for 8 months, and that's what this is all about as well. The
Mm.
benefit for us is we get to live like a local. We do slow travel. We can work from anywhere provided there's an internet connection.
Right.
And so in those 8 months, I became part of that community, made lifelong friends, and it was such an amazing experience and such a great life that I lived for that time. I actually even thought of going and living there. I mean, I didn't, obviously. But yes, so all of those connections you make, it's authentic.
Mhm.
It's nothing like, you know, somebody said to me, you know, is it like vacation? And I went, no, first of all, it's not a vacation. A vacation, you do have responsibilities. But you know what? It's much more than a vacation.
Mhm.
It is so much more.
it's heartwarming, you know. Nancy and I
It
travel
is.
and we meet, I mean, we, like you say, lifelong friends. We're
Mm.
friends, you know, and they, you know, majority of the people we're sitting for, they're all like, you come through town, you've got a place to stay, please don't go get a hotel. You're coming
Yeah.
anywhere near, come see us. We have Zoom chats. We have wine time with,
Mhm.
and New Year's
Yeah.
Eve, we were doing a sit and we had the dogs with us. We were in just outside Atlanta, Durham, North Carolina. And so we had our sit with the two dogs. Oh my gosh, we love
Mm.
these babies. And they
Yeah.
all have different names by the time we leave. You know, they have their nicknames, new nicknames.
Nicknames.
It
Yes.
happens. And so we had them, and then a couple pet parents that we sit for up in Maryland. And so they came on and they have a new puppy. And so they had their three dogs, and our friend Steve, you see him on social media, Steve Schneiker, our Hollywood historian. You've been on shows with him too. And
Yeah.
we had this, you know, we had a little mini party with all, and he had his dog Bella. So we had a dog party for New Year's Eve, which, you know,
I
this
know.
is, you know, we always just, you meet each other and everybody wants to hear about each other's travels. And it's all about this bonding over these animals and gardens. By the way, that's an
And the
extra win
gardens.
is,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
house plants and things like, and gardens,
Mhm.
and they care, you know, I know that's great for the homeowner, but honestly, plants really do want to have their schedule too. And I talk to them and sing to them, but there's this family unit
That's
that, you
funny.
know, there's sits that, you know, you just maybe don't get back to that part of the country, or scheduling or whatever, or people maybe just, it was a one-off travel thing. But you just end up
It,
with this
it,
extra family that is, your heart is, it's joyous.
it is. And it's actually, it's community. It's all about community. It's connecting with the community. And for everybody who's listening and hearing our conversation for the first time, I'm sure there's not many of them, but I'm sure there are, and listening to us and talking about lifelong friendships and listening to what Trusted House Sitters is, somebody coming into your home to look after your pets and your animals, and you leaving, giving them the key to your home. And they're probably sitting there going, really? You're having a stranger come into your home? Well,
Mhm.
the conversations that we're having about these lifelong friendships and these connections we make, that is what happens. You know, a stranger is only a friend you've yet to meet. I truly
Mm-hmm.
believe that, because we live it all the time. And so when you're looking, like, we're now in January, people, we've done COVID. I mean, I know there are still challenges out there, but people are looking to travel and they want to travel. And there are many that will believe that you can't have pets and travel as well. You can. You really, really can. And nothing changes for those pets. So for those who are sitting there thinking, you know, I want to travel, but what am I going to do? And how does this work? And how can we do it? Um, we have two sides on our platform. We have pet parents and we have sitters, and we may and those connections are made through the website and through you know, the process that we have in place. And once that process is followed and everything is done the way we recommend it to do, that's when that sitter arrives at your home and this relationship starts building.
Mm.
It
Mm.
doesn't happen every time. I've gone to sits that have been amazingly successful. The pets have been kept and everything else. And I've left and it's been wonderful, but there's not been, but that's life. I mean, you go
Yeah,
through
yeah.
life and what you do, there are some
Mm-hmm.
people you connect with, there are others you don't. And I think
Mhm.
you such an opportunity, and there's so many ways of connecting, because let's face it, you're walking into somebody's life, you're
Mm-hmm.
living in their home, you're you know, you're doing everything they do. And I bet you found the same thing,
Mhm.
Lisa and Nancy, that you go into a home and you look around and you knew that there was a connection, because then you know, you've arranged the sit and you've gone there, you've met them, you've gone through everything, you know all there is to know because of the welcome guide, and you've had conversations before you get to the house, and you know that there's something there and you can't quite put your finger on it. I've gone into homes and I've been told, okay, if you like music, play the music. This is what we've got. If you like videos or any, and those
Mhm.
are the old-fashioned ones that still have videos and still have CDs. I will go and look, and I can almost guarantee they've got the same taste in music as me. I go into their
Yep.
kitchen, they are using the same spices and herbs and cookbooks, and you're going, ooh, this is like I've come home, and that's what it is.
It's a small world. A lot of times we've actually found connections, whether it's people that we know or have been in the same place. It really does make the world small, even though the world is big. And this is something, and I want people to also understand that trusted house sitters, pet sitters are not getting paid. People look at us when we tell them, and they automatically, I say, no, we have a business. Trust me, a thriving business. This is not about being paid, but we're being paid in joy and love and tail wags and, purrs and, nipping donkeys, that'll nip your
Donkey
butt if you
nips.
don't give them the extra carrot. But it's awesome. But there is this instant connection that is like you're saying, it makes the world small, and yet when you watch the news and you listen to regular drama, even on social media and stuff, it gets so loud and noisy, the world of anger and everything.
I know.
And I find Trusted House Sitter probably to be one of the most unifying projects and ways of life that we've ever had. And Nancy and I've traveled the world like you do, and lived in with different cultures, and so we've had that immersive experience. But this is an immersive experience that you can have difficult, like that, not difficult, but different political views. You could have different ideas of how things should work in life, but you have this common bond of travel. You have this common bond of love and
Yes.
care for an animal. You have
And
maybe
plants.
maybe it's plants, maybe it's the garden, and maybe it is cooking, and maybe it is this over here. So you find you're building something positive over love and care versus how are we different? You're trying to seek
Mm,
ways
mm,
of where are we united. And from there, you can have deeper conversations where maybe you don't quite have the same points of view, but your ears and heart are open to maybe listening and going, hey, you know what? I haven't thought of it that way. Whereas
Right.
in general communication on social media and all the blah, blah, blah talking heads on the news, you just stay in that rut. So I find Trusted House Sitters to be this incredible, it's like a peacekeeping mission in a way of people actually remembering how to care for one another, have respect for one another. You go into a home, people have made sure, okay, you're coming to my home, you're a guest. People say, I can't wait to host you, to meet you, to hear your stories. Sometimes you go the night before and you get to have dinner with the family, the kids, the dogs, the bunnies, everything. You go through the routine, which I think is one of the best things, is to go the night before if you can, because it's a seamless transition for the animals once the pet parents travel off, and
They're
everybody
comfy there.
understands anything, hey, how does this work? I'm there, they're there. Because you can't always think about everything, but gosh, your welcome guide does ask every question imaginable, for people to fill out and have a guide to help the pet sitter be successful, because that's what everybody wants, is the pet sitter to be successful so that they can do the best that they can for the pets, the property. I think it's amazing, but
Well, and
I feel like Mother Teresa would have been part of this if she could have.
I just, when we first started traveling full time, we thought, oh, this is exciting. This is us. This is what we want to do. But the things we missed were pets and gardens.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the two things that we really kind of missing that. And so when we started with Trusted House Sitters, we're like, oh my gosh, now we have this, because hotels are hotels and that's fine. But
Yeah, I think, yeah, and I think also one of the things that's so powerful is, we have members, both pet parents and sitters, across the demographics. I mean, we have a minimum age of 21, but most of them sort of, start mid-20s, mid-30s. But our biggest demographic is actually retirees. Now, so, whether that's somebody who retires early in their 50s or their late 40s or whatever. And one of the things, and I'm in that group, but it's not just the age, it's not just that. I'm one of those animal lovers. I mean, I came out of the womb with a leash in my hand. I mean, I am that person that Animals are my
Nancy
joy.
wishes I came out with a muzzle.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
I
But
didn't say it. I didn't do it. I didn't say it.
sorry.
I mean, animals are my joy, and I'm the happiest when I'm around them. If somebody once took a
Absolutely.
photograph of me when I was in a yard, when I was in Spain, actually volunteering with the horse rescue, and I'm in the yard, and I've just fed the horses, and I've got a feed bucket in my hand, and I've just mucked out, and I smell of manure and everything else. But and I'm walking across the yard with this bucket, and my head is thrown back and I am laughing. And this photograph, the joy on my face it's there for everybody to see. And so when I came to pet sitting and house sitting because I lost my beloved dog. I lost my Holly, who was my life for 14 years, who was my best friend. She was confidant. She was absolutely, I was living as an expat overseas, moving from country to country, from house to house. But the one constant in my life was my husband, but he was never there because he was out working. But the one constant in my life was Holly. I mean, and she was just, I talked to her. She was my friend. She understood every single word I said. She would answer me back. She would do everything. And for 14 years, and when I lost her, like so many, I was completely bereft. I mean, I was heartbroken. And I've had animals all of my life, but you know what? And we don't ever want to say that we loved one more than the other, because they don't. They're all different. They all have a place in our hearts. But sometimes in your life, somebody, something, an animal, a pet, or comes along and is that one. And she was my heart dog. I mean, I lost her now. It's 14, 15 years ago, and I still cry. And I still miss her like you wouldn't believe. But
It's
what
like
pet sitting
Simba.
did, but what pet sitting did for me was gave me back that joy. It gave me purpose. It gave me, and the first sit that I did after I lost Holly was healing, cathartic. My heartbreak started to heal the moment I went into that home to look after that 2-year-old Cocker Spaniel, and I spent 2 weeks with him. And at the end of those 2 weeks, I cried when I left, like we were talking earlier, and we said every time we did, we cry. And so that is what this life is doing for me. This life is giving me purpose, but it's about the animals. And I think why our community is so special and is so connected, and we do have this mutual exchange. It's a mutual trust. It's a mutual exchange. If you want to get to the basics, it's an exchange of services, if you want to put it that way, but it's an exchange, and it's mutually beneficial. But more than that is why we are so special. And I truly, truly, truly believe this is because we are brought together by animals.
Yeah.
Rarely get anybody onto the site looking for just their home to be cared for, or their plants, or their garden.
Well, I know people that that
And
actually
travel.
we did a sit
too.
in over Thanksgiving weekend, and sadly we're at this point of pet sits where pets have had to pass, and we've taken care of a lot of elderly special needs pets,
Special needs pets. Yeah.
special needs with just medication, or they're worried that people are going to come over. Well, she pees, she's got an uncontrollable bladder. I'm like, I can listen, I'll take dog pee, poo, animal pee, poo, snoring way before a human. Like for me, animals that snore are the
Alrighty
cutest thing on
then.
the planet. A human snoring in my ear, not so much. But it's the animals, to me, they're so endearing. And
They're cute.
we've just, but the caring, like when you said about the tears, I remember our very, very first sit was for Cheryl with Kuzi, the cat Cusco, the creeper cat. You can find Cusco, the creeper cat, on Facebook. Seriously. Cusco taught us about pet
So
sitting,
cool.
and Cheryl set us up for what to expect for a good sit. She uses the guide. She was very clear. She guided us too. She was like, okay, this is your first one, I'm taking a chance on you. We spoke over the phone for we had a long conversation, actually. And she knows that here's the thing, your There are background checks for sitters too. So I want pet parents to understand this isn't, some complete stranger walking in. Have that communication before, and whether it's phone or Zoom even better. You can all connect on a different level and sometimes meet the animals over Zoom, which is great, or any kind of video thing. But we went and did our first sit, and Cusco, the creeper cat, taught us about like how animals have their routines. And we missed our cats. Our travel started when our cat passed. And all the animals, you kind of remember some of your animals through them. They have certain mannerisms or looks that you go, wow,
Right.
this one just reminds me of this, this, other pet we've had in our life. And we've had so many, Angela, it's,
I
to not
know.
have them around is weird. When we did the one sit when Jax had passed, the little sit for Thanksgiving, they want someone in their home, and they've become pet sitters now over this.
Mhm,
With Jax
mhm.
passing, they've become pet sitters. And we stayed there, but it was odd to do a sit without an animal. We kept going. You
Mhm.
roll over in bed at night and you think, oh, who am I going to
Like,
roll
where's the
over?
dog?
Where's the dog? Where you start to pet
Where's the
your
cat?
knee. But like Cusco taught us routine. Not just dogs will let you know it's time to go outside, to go potty, to go for a walk. So for digital nomads like us, all of us, I'm going to say that this is a benefit for your health to be around animals. And
Mhm.
we really should do a show with some doctors on this. Been wanting to do it forever. Because like here where we are, we're in the Blue Ridge Mountains on this amazing property in the mountains with, hiking trails and everything on the actual property. And little Lucy Lou takes me on a walk, even if I don't
Lulu,
want to do that hill. By golly, you will do that hill. I feel like I'm going
she's
through a
so cute.
CrossFit training. This is what spaniels will do to you. But going back to
Yeah.
Cusco, this she taught us routine, like 2, 3 in the afternoon, I want my treat, and it's now. I'd like my food here. Then the lady we're sitting for takes care of feral cats in her neighborhood and spades and neuters them, finds them homes. The one had kittens, and we had to, we were there. Cusco taught us to use the TV because you can't just watch a movie on your computer. That is not good enough. At 3 o'clock, she would like to watch her TV show. So put the TV on. Don't be scared to use the TV, even though you don't know how to really use it. Everybody's TVs are different. We all know how
Yeah.
this is coffee pots and TVs. That's a whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
But that was the best set. And we still go back every chance between, I talk to Cheryl, I think every other day. It's become a part of family life.
Mhm.
Nancy and I talk like if we ever quit pet sitting, I don't know. I
Coosie,
I couldn't even think of it. Like, you know what I
Coosie
mean? It's
has
become a way of
her
life.
own. Coosie, as we call her, has her own TV seat on the top of the couch. There's a dent.
She has 2 now.
Yeah, well, where she watches AM and PM TV, like over in the
Mhm.
morning, she watches from one side, and then in the evening, she watches from the other side. And if you don't let her watch TV, she's not a happy kitty.
And you don't want Cusco to not be happy.
No,
She's
she likes her TV.
but
And we've
but
seen more
yeah.
animals be intrigued with television. It's quite amazing about their vision and what they actually see, and what you think they see and what they actually see is interesting.
Mhm.
It really
Absolutely.
do watch it.
And we've actually just launched this weekend, actually. We've just launched a interactive tool that our really great guys in our development team, alongside sort of getting the right information from animal specialists and behaviorists, and they've developed this interactive tool where you can upload a photograph and go into it, and you can actually see what a cat, a dog, a horse, and a rabbit sees. And it's really very interesting. You can find it on our website. There's a blog post on our website, and it's called through your animals, through your pet's eyes, through your animals, through your pet's eyes. And also on Instagram, if you're on a mobile, go onto our Instagram feed and you'll find it there as well. Because the thing about it is, we bond with our animals, and these, we're getting, over the last 2 decades, we have humanized our animals even more, our pets even more, and that is such a good thing. And the reason that I believe that is a good thing is because when you humanize, when you bring them into the family, you can then empathize with the way that they feel, are feeling, should feel, how, you know, that they do have feelings. They do want to be with you.
Absolutely.
Don't want to be left
Absolutely.
in the pouring rain and the cold and everything else. They want to be, and they want to snuggle up to you. And so when we learn more about those animals that are our family members, it's like if you learn more about your you know, somebody you're going to marry or what have you. The first things you're not sure, but then when you get to know them, you know what it is they need. You know what it is that makes them happy. You know what it is that makes you happy. So the more you get to know those animal members, family members, the more that you can actually bond with them, and life will become so much better for both. And so this tool, while it's fun, while it's interesting, it's
It's
valuable
interesting.
because, you know, it really does show you what they see, and the way they see it. So yeah, go onto our website and go onto the blog and our Instagram feed, and also TikTok. It's on TikTok as well. And you can put your own pictures up there and your own pets, and you can see exactly how they look at you.
I love it because I have always wondered what
Yeah.
what exactly are they seeing?
Mhm,
You know, and
mhm.
I don't know how you guys did that, but it's amazing. I love it.
One of the
I know
interesting,
I'm
one,
just
one,
going to be doing it all the time now.
one really interesting point was one of our team. She was told when she adopted her dog that she should buy him a certain color of toys, and that toy color should be green because they don't see green. If you go onto this interactive tool, you'll see the way a dog sees, and actually a lawn will look brown to them. So she bought she bought the green, or the other way around, she bought the brown, and they could see it better. I've got that story wrong, but then it's been a long day. But she said she connected because of the way they see it. So if you see the way your pets, your pet family members view something, then you look at it and you go, okay, well, if I buy a toy of that same color, they're not going to be able to recognize it. But if I buy a toy of a different color, they're going to see that better. So it's really interesting.
Cool.
That's really cool for animals, because
I
you do
like
see
that.
animals go for different ones, like the carrot toys are really good. I would like to see the toy manufacturers to stop putting plastic inside the toys,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
there's the plastic
Yeah.
beads or this plastic squeaky. Some of
The
that I just,
squeezy.
and I always go, well, thank goodness we were there, because
Yeah.
when the
Yes.
dog does open up the toy, if you're not home and they swallow that plastic stuff, you never
Yeah.
know.
It's
It's
not
like your
good.
kid. It's like a
No, it's
baby
not.
swallowing it. So a lot of times just going on the pet sitting thing, you know, if you're there to what, if something is happening with your dog, your cat, you should, it's really good to have someone there. And things do happen. You guys have a 24/7 online vet service or call phone that
Yeah, we
is
do.
really cool through the website for members. And so everyone, this is really, you know, what I say is like, we don't get paid for pet sitting. You know, what happens, like when we go to take care of Kuzi, we always, if possible, see Cheryl on the way in. She knows when we, you know, I always warn her, Nancy and I have been out in the parks and the swamps and the fields, and by the time we get there, we look like drowned rats. And she goes, Lisa, you know, we have a shower for these things. You have your side of the house with a shower. So when you come in, get in the shower and then come and we'll have dinner. She makes us Texas style chili or ribs each time.
Oh,
And
wow.
we have our chit chat and we catch up. And it's like you sit around the kitchen table with an old friend and
Older
the
friends.
kittens. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's and I'm not calling you old, Cheryl, because I know you're listening to this. But you know, this is a special thing. It's a special bond, and it's also, you know, I don't know, we've just made such amazing friends, and the animals, the people, it just is, I can't replace it. But I do want people to understand you pay to be a member. That's where the payment
Mhm,
comes in, and it's
mhm.
very cost effective. We review each other, so we give feedback for the homeowners, pet parents, and we get feedback about our sits, so people can read. There's accountability with this, and I think that's an
Mhm.
important thing too. So you want the good review. I'm like, if I don't get a review within 2-3 days, I'm going, did we do something wrong? I want to know. What did we take this seriously? What did we do? Like, I'll go, did we put the spoons in the fork place? What did we do?
And the thing about that is, it doesn't matter how many of those reviews you get, and I've got a load. It doesn't matter how many you have, you always want more. I mean, because what it is, it's not an ego thing. What it is, it's actually somebody saying, thank you, you did a good job. It's a job done well, and it's one of those things that, you know, it's appreciation from both sides, because we appreciate and respect and are privileged to be invited into people's homes and trusted to look after their animals. And anybody listening that actually is still wondering whether this would work for them and how it would work for them, you know what? Everything we've talked about, and just think about all of the stories we've talked about the animals and how we look after, or how they're looked after, how they're at home. That doesn't happen if they're not kept at their home. That doesn't happen when they're boarded out, or somebody drops in 3 times a day. That is not happening. They are getting 24-hour, one-to-one personal care. Hey, I should have that care. I mean, I should have that person who's at my beck and call, who actually keeps all of my routine, and at the drop of the hat has got a toy there and a hug and a cuddle. I mean, you know, I should have that.
Absolutely.
I get that fix from
Hey,
the animals.
I don't date, you know, I'm, you know, off the market in life. I got animal hugs and animal snores. That's so much better to me, but I'm just teasing. But honestly, you know, I always want to bring this up. We talk about the pets, but in our pet sitting experience and taking care of people's homes, we have gone through, we've been through tornadoes, hurricanes. We've been through electricity's going out. We've been through, because honestly, the weather's been weird, and I'm not trying to be one of those doom and gloom people, but it's real. What's going on in the world is real. And you could be going and you look at the weather, and you look at the 10 days on weather.com. Who doesn't do that, right? And they do when they're traveling, people are looking. But things change so quickly these days that we cannot ignore it. And there's things that happen to properties. If someone runs out, oh, this huge wind gust is coming through, you know, maybe there's a tornado or a hurricane or really high winds. You go take down their bird feeders and their hanging, you know, wind chimes and
hanging plants, and
you do what you can for the property and for the, you know, for the pets and the animals. And then you, as soon as it's over, you run back out, because the birds will let you know if you didn't put their food back. Trust me.
and
you know,
you don't really, this day and age, want to leave your house vacant. You really
No.
don't. You really don't.
things happen. I mean, like here in the woods, you know, a bear could decide, hey, I'm coming out and hanging in your hot tub. It's happened. We have friends where they came home. They left their home vacant for a few months. They had a little vacation rental. She went home and she's like, who's on my porch? And she thought someone was breaking into her house. There was a bear in her hot tub. Seriously.
Yeah,
it's hysterical though. I think
and
that's funny.
I think it's fun.
I have a personal experience of that too. I mean, I was wanting a pet fix, and we live in the middle of nowhere on the west coast of Scotland. And I wanted a pet fix, and I wanted to go to Edinburgh. And so we did a 1-week cat sit in Edinburgh, which is only an hour and a half down the road. But hey, it was like night and day. And we got to see Edinburgh, but we got to hang out with these 2 adorable cats. And my home here is brand new, brand spanking new, and I've always had sitters. When we had our house in Vancouver, Canada, always had sitters from all over the world. But then we used to go away for 2 and 3 months and 6 months and a year at a time. This time we were going for a week, so I thought, okay, no, I don't need to get a sitter for a week. Went to Edinburgh, had a fabulous time there. Lovely cat, lovely owners. We could do the things that we can't do at home here. I mean, if we want to go for a nice meal or a drink here, forget it. I mean, you've got to get in the car and drive an hour before you can get to anything. Edinburgh, we were in this lovely home with these 2 cats. And I could walk down the road and in 10 minutes, I'm sitting in a really cool pub, having a drink, having a pub lunch, and then back
Ooh.
home all within an hour. So the cat's been alone for an hour and I can go back to work. So here I think, okay, going to be gone for a week, that's all. Go to Edinburgh, do the sit, come home, walked in the house, went to put the light on, no light came on. And then I started to smell, and there was this smell. I'd walked in the back door into the utility room, a smell hit us, no light. I would imagine 2 days after we left, there was a trip, one of the breakers tripped. And when something went out, but when it came back on, it obviously nobody was here to put the breaker back on. And we had the electricity that went to the fridges and the freezers didn't come back on.
Boy.
We were gone for a week. We lost everything in our freezer, not to mention the mess that we had to clear up. And that was just a week. Now, if somebody had been here, we'd had a sitter here, they would have noticed that breaker go the minute it went, put it back on, and everything would have been fine. And so
we've sat in houses where that's happened every time there's a thunderstorm in one house on the
and
farm.
it just goes off.
Their
And
electricity went on and off, and they had 3 refrigerators.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you know, if you weren't there, there
absolutely.
goes all that food.
and back east, a lot of people have humidifier thingies
Yeah.
that, you know, take the moisture out. And if you're not there to clean that and empty the water, you're going to get mold. I mean, there's
Yeah.
just, we've been places where the refrigerator started leaking water down into the floorboards. I mean, there's just, the list goes on, but it's good to have someone there. The beautiful thing is you can connect with people, even if they're traveling overseas. We use WhatsApp a lot, and Trusted House Sitters has an app where you can connect online. You don't have to, you know, use data and stuff on your, like whatever the fees are overseas. You can send them pictures, and through video and pictures, you can tell if your pets are happy. If there's a problem in the house, you can show it to them. I mean, I've listen, Google and YouTube are my friend. I have fixed things I didn't even know I could, but I always do it with the pet parents' permission and say, "What about
To
this?" And then
replace
they're like, "Well, if you
filters.
want to go for it, do it." But
Yeah.
I learned all these new skills. I mean, it's pretty darn cool. And then some are like, no, we have people for that. Don't stress. A majority are like that. It's, you're not there to be a servant or anything. This is, you're taking care of the home and everything. And if you need someone to come over and fix something, someone is there for that.
Exactly.
If a tree is coming down in the middle of a storm, you can be there to welcome someone to come and cut the tree down or whatever. If there's an emergency, and I tell everybody, I love it when people train their dogs and cats.
Right.
Because if there's an emergency and you can take the animal in their crate, they already feel partly at home. They have
Yeah.
the safety, and we can do that. I always tell them, we don't care about clothes and suitcases. We're on the road full time. Anything dangerous, evacuation happens, the clothes are out. The animals are in the car.
The
Now, if it's a
animals are
horse,
in the
hopefully
car.
you have a trailer, and we'll work on that. But honestly, there is this peace of mind, and I love to see the pet parents respond to the messages I send them. I send them photos probably once to twice a day, sometimes more, because look, they're so cute. And you just want to say, look what they're doing. It's so funny, or it's so cute. And, you know, but they start sending me photos of their trip. They all say, oh, just once a day is it. But I swear to God, by the time the full day, the communication is more than one photo being sent over. They're sending
Oh,
you photos.
yeah.
They're going, oh my gosh, it's so good to know we can just have a good time. And that is the beauty. That's priceless. You can't
It
pay
is, it
anybody
is.
for that.
And I have this thing about sending them from the pets. I mean, because sometimes as a human, you're going, okay, so what can I say today? Everything's fine today. If they want a daily, and of course we do it according to what their wishes are. I mean, we don't stalk them. I mean, but they want to see what their pets are doing. And this one couple that I sit for in San Diego, we have a WhatsApp group, the same as, which is the most popular way of communicating. And I was sending pictures, I was sending photographs of Casey, who is the most adorable. I mean, they're all adorable, but there's just something about Casey. And I was sending it to his mom, and I'd sent 2 days. I'd sent one to her, a picture a day to her. And I said it was from Casey, and I miss you, Mum, and I love this person you brought into the house, but she's not you, but I'm happy, so don't worry about me. So I can actually tell a story better on the dog's behalf than I can my own. And then I got a message back from the pet parent who said, Angela, could you put Casey's dad on the loop, because he's getting upset that he's not getting Casey.
Yes, I know. I've had people, the one sit we did, the guy was like, they always send it to her. I want to know. And listen, this was Angela and Chris. Oh my gosh. So, and I have to tell you, so many people have ended up on our podcast because we meet the most interesting people. We were doing a sit up in Baltic, Connecticut. We'd never been to Connecticut. And so we're like, this is cool. And we ended up in a house from the 1700s, which
That's
is,
so
and I'm allowed to
awesome.
talk. They've been on our show and everything. They're cool. They're the coolest people. And I wish we could go. They're going to hike the Appalachian Trail where we are right now, like in the middle of where they're going to hike. And we can't do the sit because we're going to be somewhere else. And that's what sucks. I want more time. But anyway, we go to this house. It was owned and built by Benjamin Franklin's niece, great niece.
Wow.
Seriously cool. They have the old cauldrons and the old fireplaces. So
That
there's
was
a new and an old
awesome.
part of the house, a little bit of a veggie garden. And I mean, this is a farm. And the two dogs, oh my gosh, I would take photos, but they had this little pond. The first day we
The
had
pond.
dinner with them. We connected, bonded. Oh my gosh, they're just the awesome couple. And the dogs are awesome. And they go, and we went out and we're like, we would just go out and play with the dogs. We weren't doing very well work-wise. And so I was like, we're not doing very well. Next thing you know, our chairs are out by the pond. And Naz, the dog, gets the ball in the pond. And Naz knows, Naz is a pointer, and she
She's so
hunts
cute.
everything. But she gets in, but she's now making the ball go under. And he goes, well, go get the ball. Like, are you going to do that? And I'm like, there's leeches. He says, but you said you really love the dog. How deep is your love for Naz? Well, I got in the pond, and the leeches, no, seriously, because the leeches leave the dog alone. The leeches came. I have footage of this, and I sent it to him. He's like, all right, girls, you're allowed to go have wine now. But because he totally messed with me. So he was like, he rarely got to be on this group chat, but he was like, oh, I want on from now on. I want the group chat because people are going in the pond and playing with leeches with the dogs. Can't beat that. That was true love. I'm serious. I miss those dogs. Anyway,
Mind you, you might draw the line at a gator being in the pond.
I don't know, not really. Nancy and I are kind of weird about, we love gators, but you won't
Yeah,
find them
we
in
do.
Connecticut, but we do have to go back. And I don't know, it's just really cool to have people who understand our lifestyle too. I always tell them, when we see you, we're going to look like we've been hanging with the gators, because we probably have.
Because we have.
And so so we always have a very weird first impression. So can I tell the first impression here, Nancy? Can I tell this is the best first impression
Okay,
of
sure.
meeting? This is the best here where we are in the Blue Ridge Mountains in North Carolina. So they have, the lady here has got an art studio down on the property in a guest house there. So they're staying there the first night we're here, up with the dog. We're all communicating. And so they're going to take us on a walk to go see our art and everything. And her art is amazing. And he built this house and all the furniture in it. So they're just such a cool couple. So we're going to go for a walk. Well, Nancy has a trick knee. And so we didn't put our hiking boots on. We didn't, we start doing this trail, and it's not an easy trail for Nancy. And, it was one of those things. And it had just rained like the day before. So the mud is slippery. We're up on this ridge and the slope. And the only way Nancy could really get beyond, and we couldn't go to where our destination was on this hike because of her knee, was, everyone's trying to help. And here's our introduction. Nancy scooting on her butt down the hill so that she wouldn't hurt her knee. This is how we all got to know each other. Nancy's butt scooting down a mountain.
Yeah, it was like a toboggan without the toboggan ride.
Yep.
It's like That, yeah, I could have
Yep.
used a toboggan. Now I'm thinking I might take a toboggan on a hike no matter where I go now, just so I
No,
can get down the hill.
it was really funny. It was really funny, but they're really
It's
sweet. And so
hysterical.
that's what I'm saying. This is a whole, it's that immersive adventure. You know, when we talk about authentic travel these days, regenerative travel, you hear all these words, pleasure, business and leisure, right? So if you're
Yeah,
going for a
yeah.
business conference, add on a few pet sitting days somewhere. Like it's cool. You know, there's all of this, these terms, transformational travel. Regenerative travel is when you're actually giving back, not just volunteering, giving back into the community where you're part of it. Transformational is where it makes these memories that you're transformed, the place is transformed. You've got to think about as travelers, what is our footprint? Are we taking? I mean, beyond paying for your hotel room. And we pay for plenty of hotel rooms across the country too. So like we are still giving into that. We're getting people out to travel. So you're investing in tourism, but it's a very light footprint, and everyone's staying somewhere and purchasing travel somewhere. But at the same time, this is a true, real, authentic travel. You can't get more real than this. I mean, because you can't, like that I know of. I mean,
No, exactly. No.
yeah.
It's authentic, it's real, it's slow, it's purposeful. I mean, it's all, you can tick as many boxes as you want. But when anybody talks to me and those that don't know how it works, and there's so many out there that still don't know how it works, and that's our quest, forever. And 2023 is our sort of, we need to get more people aware, because we need every animal to have the opportunity to stay safe and happy at home, and all of these pet lovers to have the opportunity to go and look after and enable people. But it's like, there's that message about this is all about experience. This is all about something that is the way you want it to be, and the only limitation is your own imagination. But if you're after free accommodation and a free vacation, look elsewhere. Go and book a cruise. Go and book whatever it is, because this
Go
is
get your
not
points and make a booking. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
absolutely, because this is much, much more. And it comes with responsibility, it comes with commitment, it comes with, all of those things. And I think it's nothing to do with age, it's got everything to do with attitude and ability, and everything to do with, how you connect, and what you want, and all of the things. And I mean, with the digital army and the working from home army that has developed since COVID, you know what? During COVID, I mean, we stayed, and we survived COVID because of our community. They stayed with us, and there were those skeptics that used to say, oh, it's only about people looking for free accommodation and wanting to get free travel, etc. And that was before COVID. So COVID we go through, and yes, sure, we lost some members like everybody else did, but we were kept alive through COVID by our community. And I was still working. I didn't get furloughed. I worked all the way through, and I was connecting with our community on a daily basis around the world. And do you know what they missed? They didn't miss the travel. They didn't miss getting on a plane and going somewhere, or driving down the road, because you don't have to travel miles to have an amazing experience. You can go 1 block, 2 blocks down the road, or 5 miles, and you can have an amazing experience in a different place. No, they didn't miss any of that. They missed the pets. They actually kept saying to me, oh, we just can't wait to get back to those pets. And that's what we're about. We're a pet loving community, and we're a travel pet loving community, all of those things, but we're so much more than traditional travel.
It just,
That's
talking
true.
with you, I get all excited again, but I'm all excited. I got Lucy. She's snoring.
I
She
love
is
Lucy.
snoring on the, we love Lucy. Can't
We
help but
love
say
her.
that, but She
She's so
plays so
cute.
cute. She's so, I know, but it's like, we're doing it and it's like, yeah. But I really want pet parents to know, like, you can travel with that peace of mind. Everybody misses their pets, but they're gone, but at least you get real updates. You have someone you can call. I've done videos, Zoom videos with cats and their pet parents, their cat parents.
Yeah.
That's a whole other deal. So there's just this connectivity that you really have. And so TrustedHousesitters.com is the website. Before you go, Angela, two things. We want to know where your next destination is. And we also want to know for your next sit, right? How big has Trusted House Sitters gotten? Because it seems like people like that we sit for go, I see Trusted House Sitters everywhere, like ads, I see everything. Like it's taken over the pet sitting universe. It really has. And so everyone's asking me, like, how big has it got? I said, all I know is they've expanded. They got a lot more members, whether it's homeowners and then the pet sitters themselves. It seems as people are starting to travel again, and also, people have gotten animals and pets over COVID. They know that they were at home with them 24/7. Now they have to go off and do conferences. So the business travelers, we're seeing that a lot, that it's not just vacation. We're seeing a lot of business travel
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
So how big have you guys gotten, guys and gals?
Okay, so our most active and fastest growing market is the US. We are obviously based in the UK. That's where we were bred and born and live. However, we're
Auntie,
global.
see, it's Auntie Angela.
Auntie, we are global. We're in 130 countries around the world.
Wow.
And
Awesome.
we have doubled our membership since we came back from COVID. We're currently sitting with around 145,000 paid members. Now, if you take into consideration our social community, our social footprint on Instagram, Facebook, across there, if you take all of it bring it all into that community, we're probably getting up there for 500,000. But we
That's
are,
amazing.
we are really unique. I mean, we are the leaders. We are the market leaders. There is nobody, but then we are a leader of one, because there is nobody does it the way that we do it. Nobody. Any other pet care website out there or organization or anything does not do it the way we do. And you have identified that difference. The difference is our sitters do not charge, and they never will. That's the ethos behind Trusted House Sitters. It is this fair and mutual exchange, and it actually is that our sitters value their connection with the pet parents and the pets, and what they get, the same as the pet parents value their sitters, to the point that no money needs to exchange. And you know what? When you start putting money in the mix, you actually change the dynamic. You really do change the dynamic. But there's also something to be said, and I know there's many, many people listening to this, and I have had conversations with pet parents who have considered joining Trusted House Sitters. And the one thing that they have found rather odd and rather a roadblock rather than a benefit is that the sitters don't charge, because there are some people out there, there's some, and it's the way we're conditioned, it's the way business is done, who feel unless they pay, they're not getting the best. And if they don't pay, there's something not quite right. It's too good to be true. Actually, this is just a different way of this is an exchange,
Well, yeah, because we take care of each other. There's a thing where
Absolutely.
people will take each other out to dinner, make dinner when someone comes home. We give each other gifts. We've had even people give gift cards, just out of hey, we really appreciate this. It's all kinds of, but it's not you're being paid. We're not we're not a member of your staff. And that's not that. It's a caregiver who is doing it out of pure love and care, and vice versa. We're a guest in your home. So that's what's so cool. I mean, the ones that we do, the lady goes, here's your bottle of wine, girls. I appreciate you. And she thinks about the wine. She gives it to us. She does it out of, I know you girls love your wine. and no, we're not getting drunk with your animals. Just to be sure on this, but everyone knows we love our champagne sundae or whatever. But this is where communication, when you think about gifting, it's about knowing the person, what they enjoy. Like we leave people plants or
It's
whatever
personable.
if it's something that, like we'll see someone, they will go and look at their plants and they're going, this one's on its way out. And we know we are not going to save that plant, and we try because we are green thumbs but we already know, okay, probably not. We'll go get them a plant or something to go and fill that void. It's just out of getting to know each other, and you do through the daily updates, you do through communication and this relationship, you have it's just a different thing than here's your hourly minimum wage of walk my dog, and if you don't do it at this time, it doesn't work that
Yeah.
way. This is
It's
about people
it's
working
about love
together.
and caring for the
That's
animals, the
that's
house,
why I
and the
said Mother
plants.
Teresa would dig it.
It's
She would,
it's about love and caring. It's not about
Mhm.
money.
Yeah.
No,
So people
and
are,
there's
yeah,
yeah.
the gifting thing is not always, it is just about appreciation towards each other in whatever way it is. So don't think you have to give gifts or do anything different.
No. And I mean, it's all about trust as well. It's that
Mhm.
it's that circle of trust that builds. And yeah, I mean, whenever I leave a sit, I leave a card with a photograph from the dogs or the cat or the animal, whatever animal it is, a welcome home. You've been away. I'm glad you're back. That is, and what I try to do with that is send it by mail if I can, so it's actually in their pile of post. Otherwise,
Wow.
otherwise I leave it, and I do it through the one of the online ones like Moonpig or something, and I send it from there, and I send it to their home so they can open it. But it's always from the pet; it's never from me. And flowers and people say, well, why do you do that? And I go, well, why not? I mean, because somebody's entrusted me into their home, but you're looking after
Mhm.
I said, I don't ever think of it that way. I don't
Mhm.
ever think about what I do in terms of a monetary benefit. I don't. I mean, I never think, oh my gosh, I'm here for 2 weeks, and if they had to put the dog in kennels, it would cost them this, that, and the never, ever, ever crosses my mind. It doesn't cross my
Mhm.
mind. And I
Right.
think if you're going to think that way, this isn't what you should be doing anyway.
No. Yeah, I
Mhm.
agree. It's about the animals
Mhm.
and the plants and all that good stuff. Where's your next sit?
Mhm.
My next sit will be in San Diego.
Ah,
Oh, cool. You're going back to San Diego.
Yeah,
Because
I'll be
I hope
heading.
that we get to meet you when you get back over here. And I know eventually Nancy and I'll start doing the global sitting.
Yeah,
Maybe we
I,
can hop
I'm
over to British Columbia as a first one or something.
Oh,
That might
oh,
be.
you must, because yeah, British Columbia is home for me. You've got to go there. I mean, I'm really needing a fix, and so that sounds awful. I'm really needing a fix, so I may do something local to start with,
Uh,
and that is the joy of being able to do. That's the joy of Trusted House
well,
Sitters,
you know
because
what? I
you
know
can just go
people
on
that
your
do
own.
sits. They do sits in their own city, and you go, "Why are you in your own
Yeah,
city?"
I do.
They go, "You know what? I'm working on a project. Maybe it's a book, or I am in a busy household,
Yeah,
right? And I
yeah,
need to get away. I need a break, and
yeah,
I'm going to go make pet pals. I'm going to go hang out with them. I'm going to get my work done or whatever, and hang out with flowers and plants or whatever it is." And they have a good time. It's like a break, not just, because everyone's living arrangements are different too. And what
yeah.
we've found is people don't want to burden their kids or their family or always their neighbor going into their house to do whatever needs to be done, because it's not like they are, and you're not there 24/7 either. My family needs to come over the hill and do this, and keep coming back every day to check on the animals. You can do that, temporary, like some sitters, like sits that we do, they'll go, if you need to leave at this time, we want to book you. I know we're going to have this, discrepancy of dates on the end, and I'll have family come in at the end, which is fine. But it's not the same as someone being there the whole time with the animal. It's just not. So it's I don't know. It's very interesting how it all works, and it's a very cool site. So everyone, TrustedHousesitters.com. Our next pet sit, we're going to be seeing some friends in Asheville at their bed and breakfast, the Lion and the Rose.
Cool.
And then we do our very first South Carolina pet sit, which we're very excited for. Cats and coonhounds. Yes, we're very
Cool.
excited. So on
Yeah.
a river. Listen, we're going from the forest to the river. Like, come on, that's cool. Or the
And
lake. excuse me.
coonhounds. Cool.
Coonhounds. Yeah. We can't
Mhm.
wait. We can't wait to make more friends. And then we get to make new ones in Durham, North Carolina. And then we go to Wisconsin. And then we go back to hang out with Cusco. Dude, we get to see we haven't seen Cusco for so long. I miss her so much.
I know.
And the kitties outside. So you get to this like, I need my fix. And that's the cool thing too on closing is the pet parents send us photos of their pets. You know,
Yeah.
throughout the, you know, there doesn't, not a day goes by when someone hasn't shared something on social media with us or messaged me on WhatsApp or texted me or emailed me an update on their animals, which means the world to us because we miss them. We want to
Yeah,
know
we
what's
do.
going on. It's like when
Yeah.
they've traveled off, always say, you let us know you landed safely. We want to know you're safe wherever your
Yeah.
destination is. We always want to know. And so thank you, Angela. I know we went over time a lot. Oopsie. Who cares? We're allowed to, but we love it, obviously, right? So everyone, again, Angela Laws from Trusted House Sitters, go to the website, TrustedHousesitters.com. Find them on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all those places. They do amazing, amazing work. Go check it out. It's very cost effective to join and also keep up with us at bigblendradio.com. And everyone, if you do have questions, message us through our websites. Nancy and I, or social media, Nancy and I are more than happy to answer questions. And I know Angela too, and her team that she works with over at Trusted House Sitters as well. So everyone take care and give your pets a snuggle and a cuddle. Unless they're fish, then you don't need to get in the pond, but you might want to.
And don't forget, we have a community forum as well. So if you got any questions, come onto that and you can connect with me and my team. And yeah, love to see you. And Nancy, Lisa, thank you so much. And
You're
safe
welcome.
and happy travels.
Thank
Same
you.
to
You
you.
too.
Mhm.